Well, hey everyone, it's Saturday, but you won't see this till Sunday. So, yeah, I've had one of those weeks where I was kind of like a slacker. I just wasn't feeling it, and I didn't do my video on Wednesday or Thursday. And we are expecting some weather, so I'm doing it tonight, getting it edited, and I will have it scheduled for you on Sunday. So hopefully you are seeing this on Sunday. So I started my week with nothing spectacular. We've had some pretty wild weather, especially Thursday. Oh my gosh, the thunder and lightning was just unbelievable. Like, you know how they say when you see the lightning flash, you can count like 1,000, 2, 1,000, and then you can tell how far away the lightning was. Well, the lightning was so fast. It was like flash, boom, like you couldn't count at all. And it was like rapid fire, just, it was crazy. It was like you're putting your hands up to your ears. It was just very startling. And of course, we lost power for about 3 hours on Thursday. I don't know how the power company is going to handle if that storm actually hits our area instead of going a little further north. I don't know how our power company is going to handle it. I have a feeling I'll be without power for a few days or longer, depending. So I have had a bunch of people ask me like what my buttons are, because I mentioned that I have to make button orders all the time. So I have a few that I can show you. I have 3 different sizes of them. A 1 1/4, a 1 3/4, and a 2 1/4. And when I say they're buttons, it's kind of like the political buttons, but I don't do politics. All of mine are for like parties. So this is my medium size. And that says Team Bows. And this one says Team Boots. So that's the medium size. So they can order these in any of the 3 sizes. Whoops. That one's on the floor now. They can order these in any 3 sizes, and they have the little pins on the back. This is an example of the smallest size. And this was, person ordered it, say like on Thursday or Friday, and I had it all made and ready to go in the mail on a Monday, and then they email me and say they ordered it by accident. Now, they waited 3 days to say anything. Honestly, I don't think I should have had to refund them. I should have made them go ahead and have to follow through with their purchase. But, you know, they wasted my time and my supplies. What do you do? But those are my buttons. And then I had some people ask about the little chicks that Jenna brought home. So I'm going to put a little clip in right here so you can see her 4 little chicks. All right, so now that we have that out of our systems, let's take a look at what we did this week. So last time I showed you guys my baby squids with the embroidered eyes. Well, the squids usually do pretty good for me. at that slow market. So I'm thinking at this market in October, it's a 2-day market and it's supposedly a really busy market, that the squids will do very well. So I made some more squids. I had 2 from the other day. So I've added a green one and a dark blue one. And I think this one is called Very Berry. This one is Rain. And I think this one is Lagoon. It could be Peacock, but I think it's Lagoon. I think the Peacock is the darker one of this shade. And then I did one in light purple. So that was 6 squid to go along with my other 2. That gives me a total of 8 right now. I might have 1 or 2 still left in the totes, which soon here, maybe towards the end of the month, I'm going to go through and like get an inventory and see what I really think I need to make. So then I still have the blue one that once I get the yarn, I'll be able to finish it off. So I have that. And I kind of put myself on restriction. I grounded myself from buying new patterns because I spent way too much money last month. So towards the end of the month there, I was like, no more. If I try anything new, it has to be a free pattern. So I went to Instagram and was looking at some of my saves and had saved a few more, and I'm like, what do I want to make? And I'm like, I don't know. I have no clue what I want to make. So I picked out this goose, and in the picture it's teeny tiny. Like they use a 2.5mm hook. It's teeny tiny. So with my 5mm hook and some Parfait Chunky, it came out to a fairly decent size. Now the hat comes off. You can make it a girl or a boy. There's like a baseball cap pattern to it. So this one was my first attempt. I started a second one, but I haven't finished it yet. I was just like, I don't want to do this. So I sat it aside. But I think that's a fairly decent size. I mean, it's kind of a lot of work. You have to sew on the beak, you have to sew on the legs, you have to sew on the wings, then you have to make the hat separate, but it is really cute. And I did the eyes the same as they were showing in the picture. If you look ahead, you could probably crochet the wings in instead of having to sew them on separate. I'm a little crooked. Not too bad. But this is, it's a cute pattern. And I don't remember the designer, but I will have it linked in the description below. So I did that. And then I had a starfish saved from a while back. And I messed this one up. Okay, so yeah, this is messed up. So I did this starfish, and what is messed up about it is when I went to start to do the arms, I had it backwards. So like this is the bottom, where it's much nicer and neater is the top. So this has like all the decreases and everything in it. And that side does not. So I was kind of forced to put the face on the wrong side. I did get a little confused with the arms, was starting them off. Like the first one I probably, and that's probably how I got turned around, is I probably pulled it out 3 or 4 times and went to redo it and finally got the hang of it. I was like, I am getting all these holes. What is going on? I'm having more stitches than I should have. Why is this not working out for me? I finally got it though. But it is backwards. Now that I've done it once, I would probably do it again and just be a little more cautious of what is the front and what is the back so that the face isn't on the not so pretty side. But that is my starfish. And again, I'll have to link it in the description because I do not remember who it was. So when we went over to John's sister's house last weekend and had the cookout, his sister placed an order for 3 market bags. And now I have till November to get them finished, but I don't like stuff like that hanging over my head, because what happens if I actually get into this monthly market that I'm on the wait list for? And if my October 2-day market is really busy, and then I have November, which if I'm in on that other market, I'd have 2 in November and 2 in December, and having to have stuff made for those. I don't want to have special orders or custom orders or anything like that hanging over my head. So I started on one of the 3 because she is super, super picky with colors. So she wanted kind of like a Wedgwood blue with a pale yellow for one of the bags. That's the one that I did. And I think I got pretty close. This yellow looks bright on camera, but it's not as bright as it is showing up in this lighting and stuff. And the blue, it's a variegated, but that was the closest I could find that would like the darker blue that kind of looks like, you know, that Wedgwood style. Just anyhow, so I did this one, and I did it with the 7 chains instead of 5 so that it makes it a little bigger. And I can tell you, if you're using Lily Sugar and Cream, the smaller skein is not enough. You need the larger one, and then you have plenty to do the mesh part. So I found that out the hard way. So I did that. And then I was like, well, I'm not in a plushy mood. So I started looking at patterns, and then I had to stop myself because I'm like, we are not buying any more patterns. We're not going to do it. But I saved a few on my favorites list. So when I do allow myself to spend some more money, I have some in mind. And who knows, maybe they'll run a good sale and I'll be able to get it at a discount price, because some of these pattern prices are up there for one single price. So I decided, let me make a couple of bandanas. So I was following Passionate Kelsey's. She has 2 different bandanas on her YouTube channel. And so I was doing her granny stitch one. Did it in pink. I did this part here a little bit different. She puts like a picot stitch there, and it just looks like it has this ducktail sticking out. So I left that off. So I did a pink. And then I did green and white, but rather than change colors every row, I did it every 2 rows so that I could just run it up the side instead of cutting and tying. And because you're going to crochet over the top of it like that, you don't see where you carried the yarn. So I did the green and white. Then I switched over to her other pattern, which is not a granny stitch, it's a double crochet. And I did a few like that, yellow and white. I like this pattern of hers better than the other one. These come out just a little bit bigger. They do take a little bit longer, you know, because the granny stitch, you're not feeling your way into the stitch. It's just in the spaces. So these take a tiny little bit longer. So I had the yellow and white. This one is a variegated. All of these are done with Hobby Lobby's I Love This Cotton 4-weight and a 5mm hook. So then I was bored with that, and I'm like, I like doing the granny stitch because it's faster, but I don't necessarily like the other one. And I think it's probably just the trim. And then it gets really wide before you get any length to it. So to get it a little bit longer, I'd have to go really wide, and then I just think it would look bulky on your head. So I changed up and kind of did my own thing. I see a little end here I need to cut off. So I did this one, and it's a granny stitch, but rather than doing it like a granny square, start at the bottom and work up, and I did a different type of border. This color I really like in the Hobby Lobby. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head, but I really like how those colors work up. So I did that one. And then a pale yellow. And then another variegated. And I'm like, well, you know, not everybody likes variegated. We need some solids. So I did a red. And then I had this little bit of a darker yellow color. And I did that. So I don't have very many solid colors. And I pretty much used most of my variegateds. At least to start off with, where I have one in that particular color. So then I said, you know, I kind of want to make another one of those possum snugglers. That's what everybody was telling me it was called, snugglers, not a lovey. A lovey, I was right. It's more of a blanket, like the animal head, maybe the arms or something, and then blanket. And then the snugglers are a little different. It's kind of like a stuffed animal that's not stuffed. So I did another possum. And I have to say, the second one was harder than the first one. I don't know why. You would think it would have been easier. But I think it's just because I wasn't really in the mood. So I did one other thing this week. Well, actually, I did a couple of other things because I was going to try to make some cell phone pouches, bags, whatever you want to call them. And so I did one, and I had the whole like sleeve part done. I went to test it on my phone, and it was super snug fit. And my phone is not the biggest of phones. And I'm like, this won't work. And I spent a lot of time on it. Well, not a lot of time because it's small, but you know what I mean. I spent time on it. So I just kind of like cut the string because I was putting stripes and stuff in it, and I was cutting yarn. It's like not salvageable because it's in all these little pieces. So I have that I was working on. And then I was trying another way of doing it. And after I got one side finished, I realized I messed up and I skipped a stitch. So there was like more on one side than there was on the other. just can't. Not salvageable. And again, because I was cutting the yarn instead of waiting to see if it was going to work, it's really not salvageable. But I did decide, let me make another market bag, because not just for John's sisters, but I want to have bags for my markets. So her colors, she was the pale yellow and the Wedgwood blue. Then she wants a coral and tan, which I have the tan yarn, but I have to order the coral. And then she wants one that is cranberry and navy. But the only one that I was able to find that it's actually called cranberry looks like a rust. It's not a very pretty color. And I know that's not what she's talking about. I really think what she's talking about is more of a wine, like a burgundy type wine color. And the only one that I found that had a navy that actually looked like a navy blue was Lion Brand's 24/7, but they didn't have a cranberry. And I haven't worked with that yarn before. There's a couple of cottons that I haven't worked with that I'm not sure, like, if their thickness and stuff. So to order this color from that one to go with a color from this one and put the two together, if they're not close, it's not going to work out very well. So I'm still looking for yarn for those to finish that, her order off. But I did make one other bag. And this one, I did kind of the reverse. Instead of using the variegated for the mesh part, I did the solid, and did this brown, and then the variegated for the stripes. Oh my goodness. The handles. The trim and the handles. And I kind of like that one. Now this one is Peaches and Cream for the variegated, and Lily Sugar and Cream for the mesh part of the bag. So I have this one that will go to market with me. And I think that gives me... See, the first one I made, I'm keeping for myself because I ran out of the color and then just attached another color. And it wasn't separate like this. It wasn't like it had both colors in the handle, and it looks kind of weird. So that one I'm keeping for myself. So that gives me 3 or 4. I can't remember. I have to do an inventory. So this, we'll say that it's 4, because there's the black and salt and pepper, there's the yellow and orange, and I think this is 4. So that gives me 4. So I'd like to have, and these take a little while. So, I don't know, I'd like to have 8 to 10 of them. Whether or not I get them done, I don't know, because they do take a while. It doesn't seem like they would, but believe it or not, all these chains, they take a little while. I want to say it's like $10 worth of yarn and 6 to 8 hours worth of labor. So for me, while watching TV, not just like hardcore steady crocheting. So I'll never get time value out of it, if they even sell at all. And if they don't, I'll just throw them up on Etsy and wait and see what happens. So that is what I have made this week. So two market bags. I like doing the bandanas. They're quick. And I think that I'm going to go with this style. It's just, I like how it turned out. So I had 2 market bags and 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 bandanas. And I have quite a few other bandanas, so I might have a couple of dozen of these already. I'm not sure. 2 market bags, 9 bandanas, 6 squids, a starfish, a goose, and a possum. That's it. That's the whole week. This is usually what I'd show you after just a few days. But I've been very low energy this week. Very low energy. So, that's what I have. So that's what I have. Hopefully this storm doesn't get real strong out there and everybody stays safe and sound. I'd like to be able to keep my electricity on. But I don't have that much faith in our power company. And Heather is off partying with her friend, getting ready for her big market on Monday. I am super excited for her. I cannot wait to see how she does. She showed me pictures of their market at this place last year. Amazing. I told her, you better take like 300 plushies with you. Because you're gonna like blow them out of there. She's gonna do so good. I am so excited for her. And I can't wait to hear all about it. I'm getting really hungry. I have stuffed peppers in the oven. I cannot wait for them to get finished. I'm starving. So I am going to let you guys go. And everybody keep their fingers crossed that we do not lose power and nobody takes any significant damage from this storm. And we will talk to you in the next video.